get through something in the questionnaire first. Would you rather cross paths with a man or a bear in the forest? Going around the table. Go ahead.
A man.
Kiko, are you able to scoot into the table, like scoot your chair? Go ahead.
Oh, me? Go ahead.
Yes. A man or a bear?
I said it depends.
Okay, on what?
Well, I grew up with a family that we went camping every single year for like 3 weeks.
Of course, and you're a rad, awesome wilderness survivalist, right?
I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far. I feel like I'd last a couple days if I needed to.
Can I just ask you a single question? Because I hear this all the time from women.
You, though? No, I'm
okay.
Go ahead.
You're in the forest.
Yes.
You have no tools.
No tools.
Tell me how you would start a fire.
So there's a couple different ways you can
Just give me one.
Okay, you can do dry leaves, dry anything, dry bark, anything like that.
Okay, so we got dry leaves and bark.
And then you take a stick.
A friction stick?
Yeah.
Really?
You're
going to start a fire with a friction stick?
I have started a fire.
You have not started a fire with a friction... What?
Yeah.
Okay, walk me through how you did it.
Walk you through how I did.
How you started the fire with the friction stick.
Literally just how I said that you make like a little like well with like... I would say...
How long did it take you?
How long did it take me? Like 20 minutes.
With a friction stick?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It seems like you're lying.
All right.
Sounds like I'm lying. Ask my dad.
Okay,
he taught me. But
man or bear?
Man or bear?
Yeah.
Can I have anything on me? Or is it just like you're plopping me right like this in the middle of the woods?
Just like that.
Just like this?
Sure.
Bear.
Okay. What do you want to be plopped into the woods with, though?
Usually when I go hiking, if it's by myself, I have my dogs and a machete strapped to my leg. So
a machete. Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like I could handle a man if he tried anything.
What if he had a machete?
If he had a machete?
He gets the same thing spawning in you get.
A machete and dogs? A machete and dogs?
Yeah, he gets the machete and dogs, just like you.
Then bear.
Then bear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, is the man a murderer? And is the bear attacking me?
Well, the idea here is it's a random sampling. So the man could be a rich, suave, multimillionaire, okay, who's an extremely kind man. Or he could be an absolute psychopath. It's just a random sample. It could be anybody across the board.
You took your chances against a random bear and a random man.
Hey, could be a polar bear, could be a grizzly bear, could be a black bear, could be a baby bear.
It's a random man, a random bear.
Honestly, if it's a baby bear, I'd choose a man. Not gonna lie, because the mom's nearby and they don't fuck around when it comes to their kids.
But it's a bear. But anyway, go ahead.
Probably a man.
Yeah, that seems rational.
Both.
Why?
Both?
Because I like both. Both is awesome.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, you got to pick one.
No logic.
Oh, pick one.
Yeah, pick one.
And they're not there to cuddle.
Exactly.
But I mean, wouldn't you pick the bear because you have like telepathic, abilities? You could be like, I am not the enemy. You could do that shit. Right?
It's still a wild animal, regardless.
That's true.
Oh my
God. I guess man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man. Can I say why I'm choose man? Because with an animal you cannot talk to it, nothing. If it come to attack you, that's it, you're done. But a man is a human being. Regardless, you can talk and at least try. So obviously a man.
Who picks bear? Just you. Okay. Why do you pick bear? Why don't you pick man?
Because I've also been around bears being in the wilderness, especially a mother bear. Granted, I was in a car, so I was fairly safe. But I also pick bear because if they maul me, if they attack me, nobody's going to blame me. Nobody's going to not believe me. If I get mauled by a fucking bear, they're going to be like, oh.
All right, so the concern here is like...
Wouldn't they not disbelieve you if a man beat the hell out of you?
Depends on the man. If they hurt me in a sexual way, it's easy to be like, nah, that never happened. Or
why?
What were you wearing? What did you do to provoke it? There's a lot of different things that can happen. And also, I would rather die then
Okay,
be
I
put
totally
through
understand. Okay,
that
so here's your
again.
position, right? It's like the man could do nothing, or the man could like torture me or essay me. That's your
Yeah.
position, basically. Whereas the bear could leave you alone, or it could kill you, but it couldn't essay you, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And
I mean,
so,
it could, but
I don't think so.
It would probably kill me in the process, which I would much
Yeah.
prefer.
So
Much prefer.
I mean, if we're being real, if we're being
Yeah, but
so
hold on.
very real, you
Okay.
would much rather be
I'm about to have the
that
back and
than
forth.
eaten
So-
by
all
a
right, I
bear.
want to hear it. I want to hear it.
all right.
Realistically,
Been
So
me
that,
too, and I would rather be eaten by a bear.
and to each their own.
Eaten by a bear?
I'm saying I would rather be attacked by or I'm saying I would rather be alive than be that. If that
I'd
makes
rather
sense.
have men
That's
do
what I'm
that to
saying.
me than have the bear.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I meant. That's
all
what I
right.
meant.
So cool. All right. So going into this, there is some fear of an essay occurring. What do you think is the chance of a random man being inclined to essaying you in this scenario?
Again, it depends. If I was plopped into the woods like this, like dressed, how
so
I
it
am without any
you're
like
saying, like-
protection or anything.
That makes no difference.
That's not the question.
Yeah, just like you are right now.
Okay, what's the question?
The question is just if you're plopped in there just like you are right this second, you're teleported right now from the whatever studio into the forest.
Okay.
Bam, random man is in there with you in the same forest. You're both looking at each other going, what the f-? What is the likelihood that you think that this
Probably
man...
low, but I also think that the likelihood
Well,
of being
what does
attacked
low
by
mean
a
percentage,
bear,
though? Percentage-wise?
Yeah. What is the percentage?
I don't know.
If you had to take a guess.
I'm not going to take a guess.
But if you had to, though.
But I don't have to. So
Yeah, but you do have to.
why?
Well, because it's baked into this scenario that you're taking a guess.
Okay, but why does my preference for whether or not I'd be alone in the woods with someone, why does that need to be reduced to a percentage?
Check it out.
What do you think your odds are better
If
at?
I'm-
Do you think your odds are better at survival with a man in the forest or a bear in the forest?
you jumped-
Where do you think you're going to survive best? That's the ultimate question.
My response isn't I think every man is awful and has the potential to blah 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 blah.
That's not the question. It's the question is, if you had a chance, right? And they were like, if we want to see your best survival and we dropped you off right now in the forest, do you think you'd have a better chance at surviving against a bear or a man? That is the question they're asking. Who
There's
would
no
you
way
have
to actually know.
But your best guess is what we're asking off of what you've perceived through life, off of your opinions. If you had to be asked, who do you think you have a fighting chance against, a bear or a man in the forest? That's what
To
they're
survive?
asking. Yes, that's it. That's what they're. I'm not asking.
Okay.
That's not what I'm at.
That is what you're asking.
No. Very simply, I'm just looking for the percent. Like, what percentage of man would be inclined to essay?
If you want to go, okay, if you're asking that, I actually know the exact percentage. It's 10%.
And I know that's why it was a terrible way to phrase the question to her. You can't phrase it like that to her.
You just proved him right.
That's why I phrased the question
I'm
a
sorry.
How
certain
did I
way.
prove him right?
You prove him right because
Yeah, 10,
most
10%.
Yeah, 1 in 10
exactly,
men would
10%
essay
is
you.
nothing
Really?
compared to-
And do you think
Yes.
do you think 1 in 10 bears would attack you?
You're looking
my
at
God.
statistics of how many bear attacks there have
don't
been
think men
versus
would
how many
attack you
essays there have
anyway.
been in
But
a
that's
year.
what we're asking. It's a nuanced question.
Yeah,
Obviously,
so then
you
the
know,
bear. Because the chance of being
got it.
attacked by a bear is much lower than the chance of being essayed by a man.
Okay, wait. The chance of being attacked by the bear is lower than the
Yes.
chance of. Okay, so there's the risk assessment.
But you're-
Okay, let me ask this.
Also, hold on. Let me ask this. Why is that funny? That 10% of men.
Because there's no statistics that support that anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
It's less than 1%.
Less than
1%
of
of men
men.
do that side. Yeah. Less than
Where's-
1%.
where's your source?
You can get it from
FBI,
Rain.
The FBI
Can
and
get it-
DOJ.
You can literally
Okay,
get this
and I've
from
gotten
Rain.
it from the FDA, from
The FDA, the Food and Drug Administration.
They've
What?
I think to be fair, I think they have done some studies on
they
it,
have done some studies,
to be fair, but
and they've taken statistics from women who report getting abortion because of SA. They've taken a lot of statistics from many different sources. I do this on a fucking daily basis.
Okay. Then how come you didn't know it was 1%?
Because it's not 1%. 10% of men are
10%
reported
Wait,
reported.
No, 10% of men have not reported.
No, hold on. There are some, for example, there might be some stats that could indicate that 10% of women, I don't think this is actually true, but 10% of women have been victims of SA. But this could, first of all, hold on.
Much higher.
Oh, it's higher?
Yes.
Okay, fine. It could indicate that, for example, there's like a serial man who's like doing this to multiple women. For starters, not
Sure,
that
we could
it's not
say
a
that.
1-to-1 ratio where there's like 10% of men in the population are doing this. Furthermore, like I'm just curious, then I'm assuming you'd be prepared to throw like 10% of your immediate family members under the bus, like your cousins and fathers and brothers. 10% of them are essayers.
I don't have cousins or a
Fair
father,
enough.
so
I'm going to change the question. If we change it to 10 men versus 10 bears, does your answer change?
if
So you'll
there
come
were-
across, hold on, you'll come across a group of 10 men, don't know each other,
Hell
they're
yeah,
random,
I'm taking the bear.
or 10 bears.
Wow.
I'm taking the
You hate
bears.
men
Wait,
that
so just to be
much?
clear, hold on, no,
I
no,
would
no.
take the bear. In that case, I would probably take the bear too.
Yeah.
With
If it
10
was
men
10?
versus I would rather have,
about
I would rather
100?
go against one man in the forest versus one bear for sure. But 10 men in the forest,
Oh my god.
it's a gang mentality.
Bro.
Not that word. Essay.
it's
Dude,
a gang mentality.
Sheena,
What?
you've been on the show 3 times. This was
Essay.
an issue on the last time you were on the show. You've heard the pre-show instructions to not use that word. I lost my fucking mind at you for precisely this reason last show.
Sorry.
I had a conversation with you, not just Damien. We had a conversation before the show about the words you use on the show. Are you just like an op? What are you doing?
I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's anywhere near as high as 10%.
I don't know what to do. Like, it's one thing to make the accident once, but like if somebody you tell somebody not to poke you, and then they're like, what are you gonna do about it? I don't know. I genuinely don't know what to do. Like I don't like. Is the solution just to ask you to leave at this point? Because
No, I
like
don't think
you've
that's necessary.
continuously demonstrated that you like cannot respect my platform. Like I don't know how many times I have to have a polite
on purpose.
Yeah,
I
that
actually
place-
I involuntarily manslaughtered your I was drunk. I didn't intentionally kill somebody. I don't care what your intentions were if the end result is the same. I've had multiple polite conversations with you about, hey, we can't talk about this, we can't talk about this, we can't go here. I don't know how to get it through to you to not say words that are like gonna get us in trouble with YouTube. Like, I don't know what else to do.
I don't know what to tell because it slipped. I didn't mean to say that.
You have a
It's
replacement
the
on that couch
difference of
right there.
Conversation.
Huh?
It's dialect. Like I don't
But
know.
literally, like, and the chat, I don't know what the chat's, look, this was literally the issue the last time. I don't know, like, I don't know if you're intentionally just trying to, like,
No.
I'm
do
not
this to
doing it
get,
intentionally. Trust
You could
me.
tell it's not intentional.
It just every time I want to speak, it's like the whole energy since I got here, it's really off against me. So.
because, like, you just have zero respect for the
not true.
platform. We tell you, hey, here's some things that are off topic. You can't say these words, you know, YouTube TOS, YouTube guidelines. You just, are you not, Damien was very polite. He went over the pre-show information with you.
He's
Like,
not that polite.
huh?
He's not that polite.
Why are you throwing
It
Damien
wasn't
under
like
the bus?
impolite either.
I mean, we're just saying.
It was direct,
But
it
he
wasn't-
literally just read off it literally went into detail of instructions of what not to do and what to do.
But I think it's
based
very-
on passed on the.
I know, but
You know what I mean? So
I've
it's like-
done this podcast multiple times. And
Yeah,
I've
but
had multiple people.
and
tell
I've been on
me
here only
the-
twice, and there's still boundaries, and you still interrupt. And how many times have you been on here? Like what? There's things like you literally go through it. I've only been on the thing here twice.
interrupting is
That's
an
literally
easy
what
thing
he
to
said.
forget.
He literally said that's on the that's a list of
Especially
things
if
what not
it-
But I
to
think
do
it's
or
very
out of
clear
respect.
that it's a difference of culture and how she speaks and whatever.
She's
he
been here
doesn't
for 15
understand.
years.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
No,
You
it
need
doesn't.
I'm just
No,
saying,
but you've been here several times at this
doesn't
table.
matter. It doesn't matter. It could slipped in the heat of the conversation. That's
okay,
not true.
Like, it doesn't make any
interrupting.
sense. Like,
Interrupting is like an easy thing to forget, especially
do you
when you're
want me to
emotionally
leave?
invested.
now if you've been here several times.
But words that you know are gonna get you like in trouble, I feel like that, like, this is my first time here, and even I am like, no, SA.
Yes,
like,
because you are very politically correct. You're not like me. You're very boxed in these bullshit ideas. Don't compare yourself to me, please.
why?
Because I don't think like you. I don't want to think like you. I don't like this liberal bullshit.
Okay, I don't like how
I'm sorry,
you.
but I don't like that.
No, that's okay. I don't think
because
like
you're trying
you.
to put more
but
fire into the conversation.
I'm not.
I'm not doing. I didn't say it on purpose, and you jump on the opportunity to try to go on off at me, and I don't appreciate it.
There have been other people who are actually trying to attack you, and I'm trying to
all right.
not do that. I'm just saying it's.
I don't care what you say. Don't say it to me. Say it to them.
we're here for a debate.
Yeah, you remember how you scream when we say something to you on the debate?
That's what I literally did.
Don't be a smartass.
I
Don't
just
talk to
did
me.
that sarcastically.
Yeah.
Duh. Because you did that to me last time.
Like a 15-year-old kid. Oh my god.
This is why I wanted to sit in the middle, Brian, because I feel like I'm very in the middle of everybody. I'm very half and half, and that's why I thought I should be over there.
Look, there's one thing. Like, I don't know if you're like a habitual line stepper, a habitual line crosser, Sheena. Like,
Line?
We've-
What did I lie about?
No, line crosser. And that's
You're a
exactly what I mean.
habitual line
She's
stepper.
Not getting it.
What does
It's
that
a-
mean?
Like-
it's a
Boundary
cultural
crosser.
difference right now.
It's one thing if somebody makes a mistake once. I've literally had this conversation with you
I know,
not
but-
only hold on. Here's all the background. You've been on the show 3 times. Damien gives a detailed pre-show instructions. Don't say this, don't say. You've been on the show 3 times. Then
You're right, I'm
when
not
you
angry
fuck
about
up, when you fuck up, I correct you every single time.
You know,
Despite my correction, you continue making the same mistake. How many times do I need to allow you to continue making the same mistake before you're just completely disregarding, like it's in one
not
ear,
disregarding.
out? Yeah, you literally are.
I'm not.
You literally are. I've been on your case all night about shit fucking TOS. You've been
been on my
asking.
case
You've been
even when I
in
didn't
my
say
DMs.
something.
I'm not
Even
trying.
when I didn't
Look,
say
I
something.
typically don't throw people on. You've been begging to come back on the show. The least you can do is show me and my show a little respect by like, hey, I've pulled you aside and had conversations. Don't say certain words. Don't talk about this. Then you come on the show and you want to start saying the stuff that I've told you not to talk about. How every single guest here, some of whom it's their first time on the show, they're not having any problems with this. I'm not getting frustrated with them.
I just look
don't
at you
know.
and you get frustrated. Even if I don't say nothing, you get frustrated and breathe in dramatic way. It's got nothing to do with anybody. It's with me. You just see me and you get frustrated.
Zero accountability because
No,
you've done nothing wrong.
I'm accountable for that. You're right. I was wrong. But since I got here, you've been on my case nonstop, and they can see it. Even they can see it.
So
You're always on my case. Even in the last show, I didn't do nothing to you. I'm nice to you, and you take it.
You didn't do nothing. You did the same stuff.
Okay.
You did the exact same thing.
Okay. What do you want me to
The
do?
constant interruption. Like last show, it was constant interruption. Constant interruption.
All the girls talk whenever they want, and when I talk, you shut my mouth. You don't let me talk.
I moderate the other panelists also.
No, not like you moderate me.
Because
You
you're
can watch
like
the
a
show later and
habitual
see it.
fucking interrupter.
Okay. Habitual interrupter.
So I do agree that the vibe has been off, honestly. I've noticed that too. Like every time that you open your mouth, there's always like a certain aura of like, what is she gonna say? I definitely get that. But I do also want to point out that it's not liberal bullshit. It's the fact that YouTube has set guidelines, and this is the platform that he thrives on. So obviously he's going to want to protect the thing that he does
and
best.
I respect it completely, but I didn't.
Yeah, but
That's why it's all in
but it's not
misunderstanding.
liberal bullshit. It's not like my point of view. It's not your point of view. It's just what, like, YouTube has a set guidelines for a reason. It's because they're super successful. It's because they're a great streaming platform. It's because they have these guidelines that they do so well, and it's because of the guidelines that YouTubers are able to do so well. So if we cross that, we're fucking it up for him. And like, I've been trying not to do the like interrupty thing, but that's hard for me. I'm a big mouth.
All the
This
time.
is the.
I'm bad at it.
Look, I'm gonna move it on. This is the final warning. If I need to correct you on something TOS related, or like you use a word that we've explicitly multiple times have instructed that you're not supposed to say that, I'm just gonna ask you to kindly leave. Final warning. If it happens again, do you want to just leave? I mean, if you're just gonna laugh,
no.
If you're just gonna laugh about me, like
I'm not laughing about you.
Just because I really think it's a cultural difference. Like,
No, it's
TOS,
not.
It is. TOS, like, basically, the exact words you use, don't say a word you wouldn't say in mass, that you wouldn't say in church,
So, say
that you
instead
wouldn't
of-
say against, like, just you, because of how the guidelines are, there's just certain words that you have to speak around. So, like, imagine that you're in church or mass or something, and you wouldn't want to use those words to a pastor or a priest or whatever. Like, you just have to be careful about the certain things you say, even if you could still talk about the topic, but you have to go around it certain ways.
Okay.
And no, you're saying that, but she said she got here 15 years ago. She's 50,
But
which
not-
means she got
when-
here at 35.
when- she has been
There's
here-
cultural differences.
She has been here for how long, and how many people has actually said the words? Anyone? Or did we say the actual term that has been used on the podcast for
She's
over
barely even doing
200
anything
shows?
like that. Like,
I'm
that's-
sorry. And
No.
if you've seen her at last
You're
episode,
just mad at her for how she's coming against you. You're not
when
even
has
mad
she
at
ever
her
come against me?
the first 2 minutes of the podcast.
Oh, because that was she stepped out of line with that
You're
part.
not actually mad at her
doesn't
or
wanna
anything
know,
she's
but
doing. You're
it's
just
frustrating that-
offended.
yes.
She's got anger
That's
issues.
what's
Don't you
going
see
on.
that she's like so
Yes.
frustrated for nothing?
No, what's frustrating is him having to stop the podcast to yell at her. That's
Yeah.
frustrating for me.
Well, I mean, half the time they're stopping it when she's not even saying
And
anything. They're just
everything's
scared that she's going to
frustrating
say
for you in this
something.
podcast,
If we're
I
being
can
real. Like,
I mean,
haven't
I'd be
done that.
frustrated too. You do come at her a lot. I'm sorry. Just from an outside perspective.
But I'm not frustrated. That's not
I
why I'm
haven't
doing
met
that.
any of these people before, so I literally do not
This is
care what y'all think
ridiculous.
about me.
Completely
okay,
not
but you
lying
guys
right
see
now.
what side she's sitting on. She's
Yeah.
sitting next to
And-
him and
and-
him. You see what she's
and
arguing
Kiko.
against.
She stole a bunch of my popcorn too.
That's my
Fucking
popcorn
The true,
also.
the true travesty here.
But like, come on, you see where she is. Obviously, we're debating against her. She's sitting. She's
It's fine.
seated
We
over
can
there
switch
for a
seats. If you want to switch
reason.
seats to make you a little feel
Like-
better, I would do that for you to make sure that you do not having to stop this podcast so we have to have this discussion again. If that's necessary, I will.
I don't think switching seats would solve
Well, she made
that,
it a valid
but-
point. That's why she's been doing that, right?
No, I was saying, if you've ever watched this podcast, you
I
can
watched
use some
it.
conductive reasoning that the people who are seated over there are going to argue with you and be against you. It's nothing shocking, but you're so offended by her.
But I am not
and she's
offended.
not fucking up your
Personally,
money.
everything
Like,
you
why
take
are you so
personally.
mad? At
I'm not
her?
taking it
Like,
personally. What,
Yes,
what's,
you do, because we
what is
come here to have
frustrating?
the debate.
Okay.
He's going off at me, but I'm not taking it personally.
Yeah.
I understand it. I'm not sensitive about it.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here and crying and screaming like a lunatic.
I'm sorry. She's still a woman at the end of the day.
That's
Yeah.
also
I
disrespectful.
will stick
If
up
you
for
want to be
women.
treated with respect, you should probably extend the
I
olive
don't,
branch.
listen, I don't
Just
care.
saying.
Listen, I really don't care.
No, you obviously
It
don't.
sounds like you two want to have a back and forth. Go ahead.
No, because she's want to sit over here and say that I'm targeting her when I'm not. What's frustrating
I
is
didn't
that
say you
I
targeted
haven't
You
her.
haven't spoke the whole
Okay,
time.
this is exactly what he's talking
until
about.
it
You're
comes to
literally
her.
interrupting. Let me fucking talk.
Mental issue.
Go ahead, girl.
Oh my god. I literally said you're saying I'm targeting her when I'm not. What's frustrating when Brian has to stop the freaking podcast just to yell at her? When the constant mistake is, if you watched her last episode, yes, this has happened several times. I watched the last episode.
Wow,
when
you're
she was
a
on.
fan.
Yes, I am a fan of the freaking podcast. That's why I'm here.
And I was just saying the only time you speak lately is when it's regards to her. So it seems
I haven't spoken because I didn't have nothing to speak about.
Okay, fair.
Exactly.
Like, I have no topic about the freaking transgender part what you guys are talking about. I have no input on that. And all what you guys been talking about, I had no input. Reason why I haven't spoken. But why I'm speaking now is that because we had to stop the podcast for him to yell at her. Like he's done like 5-7 other times today. So yes, I've been
got
sitting
it?
here because I've been wanting to hear you guys' discussion.
Okay.
And now I'm done.
And she stole my popcorn.
Hey, Darkavia, what? I did. Actually, never mind. No. All right, move on.
No, ask it. I want to know.
No, it was gonna be some
Please.
instigating bullshit.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna fucking instigate.
Well-
I'm not gonna do it.
I
Good move.
want to hear.
Nah, it's okay.
No, I don't
I'll
think it's
instigate
worth
later.
it.
Absolutely not.
All right, we got
Maybe
a
at the
couple
end of the
We got some
podcast.
chats.
Wrongful Rage donated $200. Sheena, you're saying things that are risking Brian's show. You are risking Little being here. Whether it's an accident or on purpose, YouTube does not give a flip. Mind your tongue. It'd be pissed too.
That's fair.
How many?
Fair.
Like, how often do people make it about like the intentions of somebody's actions? But what does it matter if somebody's intentions like?
Well, but how many times, bro? Like, enough.
What?
It's been
Intention-
like this is 3 shows in a row.
Mm-hmm.
3 shows in a row.
Also, YouTube,
Andrew
like,
wants the-
I think she got to go, bro.
I
No, I'm a man of my word. I said I'm giving her one more
shot.
chance.
I would just
One more
say,
chance.
regardless of
Not
intent
nice
or not,
that you-
regardless of
3.
Just even like with the numbers you provided, like wouldn't you assume if it's 1 out of 10 men, like the other 9 men would just intervene on your behalf because men are benevolent?
excuse me, can you repeat
Well, you
that
said,
last part?
okay, using your own stat, you said 10% of men. So if when we gave you the 10 men versus 10 bears, I think you still picked bears, right? And you too, Kiko? Like, No, you said,
No,
I-
she said no bears.
no, she picked bears.
I
picked man.
Even
Man versus
on my
man.
paper,
She
I picked a
literally
man
picked man.
versus a bear.
No.
I thought you said
there
with
was 2
10
other
men.
ones. Oh, 10 men.
Versus-
Oh, I did say that.
Yeah, with
I
10
was
men.
kind of joking though. I was fucking around.
Oh,
I was
okay,
like,
but so-
10 men versus a bear. Yeah, give me the bear.
Okay, so using your own stats on this, like it would be 10% of men, that'd be 1 out of the 10 men. Like if that one guy did try to do something, like it's safe to assume like most men would intervene seeing you being attacked in this way, and they would like probably kill that guy. Or do you think
That-
they would stand by and watch?
I mean, there's a couple different ways that it could go. They could intervene, in which case, yay, great.
Wait, hold on. I'll go ahead and grant that it could, like, they could watch. Like, that is
They could
a
also join
possibility.
in. That is also a possibility.
Wait, but you said the risk is 10%. So that would mean only one man would do it and the rest wouldn't.
Who wants to join in on that?
You'd be surprised.
Okay, hold on.
There's actually a whole genre.
So, okay, okay, fine, whatever. I don't think I'm going to get anything from that question then. Just occurs to me that
I also just think that the
probably-
man versus bear argument is stupid and doesn't actually
Well, I think
address any of the concern that us women have with men or bears.
Well, I think it would indicate that women who'd pick bear...
I agree with that.
I think it would indicate that women who'd pick bear are sexist.
I think they're
No.
scared.
Scared.
Oh, okay, so hold on. Let me change it then. So if we replace man with black person, and if you pick black person because of previous negative experiences that you've had, would this be racist?
I mean, I think making it a definition of black man is racist in itself. I'm just saying men in general.
What do you mean definition of black person?
I mean, you have to make that distinction. I think that makes the question racist in itself. When
How
it's
would
not
it- how-
race, it's gender.
Well, that's fine.
Wait, so that- wait.
just grant it that sure, the question in itself. Let's just assume for a moment that it's racist. Does that mean that if you wouldn't pick the black man that you're racist?
Well, I mean, like I said, it's just men in general, but that's also like, does that change the type of bear? Is it a brown bear or a polar bear?
Do you agree
Like,
that there's some nations of men where, due to the culture, they essay more than other groups of men in other nations?
based off of the statistics that we have, that could be accurate? Yeah.
Sure. So in this case, if somebody were to make a presupposition about black men based on this categorization of a subcategory, wouldn't that be racist?
So I think it's interesting that you took I think this question is dumb because it doesn't address the actual issue and turned it into a race thing. So
Yeah, what does that have to do with the question
I'm
I
just
asked?
testing the logic.
logic for what? I'm saying that the question itself is dumb.
Well, I was saying it's a test for
Well, that's how
sexual-
I'm saying that the question itself isn't. There we go. Now that we have ascertained that you have an opinion and I have an opinion.
You actually just said that you agree that me saying that the question in itself doesn't actually discuss any of the actual
Doesn't mean that
issues.
the question is dumb.
Okay, so what would you say that the question is?
Well, the question is trying to test your logic. It's just trying to determine if you're consistent in your
Okay.
logic across multiple categories. So if it is the case that you think 1 in 10 men would SA, perhaps that's true, right? But what if we break the demographic down? Are you willing to bite the same exact bullet in the same situation if it were the case?
How about let's
hang
not?
on.
No.
Hang on.
How
Let me
about-
finish.
how about-
I can't finish the question?
How about I
You're
just
so terrified that I
say-
finish this question.
No, I'm not. I'm
Then
just
let
saying
me
I picked
finish
the bear.
it.
Shiver
Then
me
let me
timbers.
finish it. Then let me
Shaking
finish it.
in my
Okay,
boots.
but why make the distinction?
Can I finish the
You
question?
can.
Great. Then let's do that. Okay. So if it is the case that what you're doing is you're saying 1 in 10 men will do X, and that's why I picked the bear, doesn't it stand a logical reason that if there were, I don't know, certain subgroups of men who are more likely, men in their 20s, for instance, right? Things like this, that you would try to adjust for those things?
Again, are we adjusting the bear as well?
No.
No. So what type of bear is it?
Why do we? Well, it's a random bear.
Well, no, because demographically, if you're talking about the different species of bear and who's more likely to attack a person.
Yeah, that's great. I agree that different bears may be more likely or less likely to attack. I agree.
Okay,
But-
so which bear?
because
What
we're
bear is
just
it?
keeping it. Here's the point. The point is we're keeping one side of the question the same. We're just asking a different aspect of the question.
Because you don't know the man you're going to come across. It could
Correct.
be a docile man who loves
So
all
now,
men,
so
or
now,
a
if you
man
could correct,
who assaults.
if you could correct for demographics, would that change your answer?
No, I think I'd still choose the bear, honestly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really, like I'm actually genuinely curious because I'm the type of person who most people think I would say the bear. That's who I've been brought up to think this. But literally, if you were plopped in a forest and you were just on a hike, you're just doing your everyday hike or whatever you want to do, you would rather on your walk and trail pass a bear than pass a random man. Like, take the nuance off of it. You would,
Now, if I
on your
was
own, just taking a
On a
morning hike,
on a normal
you
hike.
would rather pass a bear, any breed of bear, than a man. That's
Any
genuinely.
breed of bear? No, I would choose the man.
Okay, that's the point though, because you don't know what man you're coming across, and you don't know what type of bear you're coming across.
I could probably ascertain that I'm not going to come across a polar bear.
Okay, but there's black
not?
bears, there's grizzly bears, there's brown bears. You can't tell that man that's walking by you. You can't tell if he's an assaulter or if he's the most lovely man you've ever met. You can't tell that. So it's like if you had to choose without any
that's-
knowledge, if you had to choose between a bear and a man, you would choose a man.
That's also why I'm saying this question doesn't take into account the actual issue.
I get that, but this is what they would do to me. And I would I would stick down and I'm like, no, bear, because I'm thinking about the nuances and stuff.
Yeah.
They're trying to get you caught up and you're falling into it by not just admitting the fact that you would rather come across a man than a bear. And you're even a cougar, even a coyote, even a shark, even in reality, you would rather come across a man than a wild animal like that could tear you into shreds. Like, I just listened to the voicemail, the call of this little girl and her stepdad in the forest while these bears and her cubs were eating them alive, and she's talking to her mom. Okay, I much rather take my chances. And I also know about the case of McKenna, who was in the forest with the man and didn't survive after 10 minutes of calling 911. It can go either way, but I think statistically we can realize that you have a better chance across a random man walking past him than a bear.
For surviving, yes, I agree.
Okay, and that's what they're asking. They're not asking the
that's what
nuance.
I
They're not
agreed
asking all
before.
the other
Well,
stuff behind
in this
it. That's
case,
all they're asking.
While I appreciate that exchange, in this case, we're not. We're asking. Sorry, popcorn.
You want me to?
I'll take it.
You
I'll
need a little
take the
breather.
popcorn.
You need a little
No,
breather.
no. They're asking a question about if something is racist or not. So if you specifically could choose between a distinct race that you could spawn in with, if you refused to choose one based on a preconceived notion that you had about that race, would that be racist?
Can you ask the question again?
Yeah, let's say that you thought, well, I don't know, Asian people were more likely to essay than white people. And so you chose, in this case, white people over Asian people. Is that racist?
Yes.
I would
If you have
say
no predisposed interactions. Because if you have 3 bad interactions with a certain particular race, I don't feel like you have an issue with saying that you have an issue with them.
question for her.
But if you've never interacted with them, she's not going to answer.
Here, we're going to
I
let
know.
her answer the question. Go
She
ahead.
wasn't
We're going to
gonna
let her
answer.
try anyway.
Well, so I've had a lot of bad experiences with white people, Asian people, Hispanic
Asians?
people. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I've had a lot of bad experiences with men in general, which is why I picked the bear in the first place. So
And I have
honest-
no idea what this has to do with what I asked.
Wait, let me ask a quick follow-up question. So you've had a lot of bad experiences with men,
men,
right?
yeah.
Okay. So if you've had
and a woman,
but so you'd be totally fine if somebody's had like bad experiences with a racial group. They're like, oh, I don't want to be in this scenario. I don't want to be placed with
It
this racial group. I'd rather
depends
pick
on
the
how
bear.
bad the trauma is. Honestly, you
who
can't
are
control
you to-
PTSD.
Huh?
You can't control PTSD. Like
That's not the question, though. Answer the question.
What was the question?
Okay, so you're saying if you have trauma with men, totally justifiable to pick the bear. Question is, if somebody's had past, has had,
Yeah, let's say you only had good experiences with one type of
no,
of sub-demographic of men.
has had, say, 3 bad experiences with 3 black men. Would
Okay.
that be enough justification for you? Like you would have no problem with them for just because they had 3 bad experiences with 3 individual black men, that this would be enough pretext and justification to pick the bear over, black people, enough justification to pick the bear over a black person.
Again, depends on the trauma, but yeah. Why wouldn't that be?
Would that be racist?
I don't think it's inherently racist because you're not like, you don't hate the person because of the color of their skin. You just don't want to go through the flashbacks. It's, I don't know, honestly.
No. Okay.
Using deductive reasoning. is not
Final
racist.
question on this, on the bear thing. Can you at least have some sort of, this is almost going to be full circle here. What do you think about conservatives who object to transgender individuals having access to bathrooms of their opposite sex? Just transgender women who have access to women's bathrooms.
I'd say that if you're worried about them doing anything, then your actual worry is men, not the transness. You're worried about what's going on inside their head.
So you're fine with, like, for example, if conservatives were to put forth a law in a local jurisdiction or at state level or even the federal level that transgender women were barred from entering the women's bathroom, you'd be totally cool with this?
No. That they were
Why?
barred? That they were like not allowed?
They had to go into the bathroom with their sex.
Biologically assigned sex, yeah.
I don't.
But I don't understand. So you pick a bear over a man, over, yeah. Do you pick bear over a transgender woman?
No.
Huh. Even though it's a male.
Even though it's a transgender woman.
So
Sure.
that would be a subcategory of male.
Sure, if that's what you guys want to categorize it as, yes,
Well,
I would
no,
choose.
I mean that there's no other way to get. You can say it's woman, sure, or that's a woman.
I would think
But
that,
anyway,
I
but the-
would
but the
think
question-
that they are less dangerous than an actual man, yes.
Okay, that's fine. But if, from the conservative viewpoint, conservatives view transgender women going into
Women's bathrooms.
women's bathrooms, what actual objection would you have?
I don't have an objection.
You literally just said you have an
No.
objection to conservative.
I have an objection to it being barred. I have an objection.
That's what. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But that's the point.
They have an objection to it. They're going to attempt to legislate against it being possible to do.
Okay.
Because they have PTSD.
Because they have
Okay.
PTSD of a trans woman.
I don't know how
Sure.
else to make, like, your fear.
Well, you can't say that. Like,
So the
you can't say.
legislation as a whole has trauma
Wait.
associated with
Well, I mean, it would have to from your worldview, right? If somebody stole a Snickers bar, they could conceivably, in your worldview, have as much trauma as somebody who, I don't know, witnessed a murder, right?
No.
No.
Oh, God forbid, a Snickers bar. But a murder,
How? Well, so wait, is that objective then?
what do you mean?
So I mean,
What box
are you?
what do you want me
There's
to
no
agree
box.
to?
I'm just
No, what is your goal with these questions?
My-
And why aren't we asking every single person here the same questions?
Are you upset?
Not necessarily.
Are you upset because am I giving you too much attention? Is it upsetting to you? Do you want me to back off in the attention for you? Are the questions getting a little too hot for you? Are you having trouble?
I'll
now?
answer.
No. I want to answer. Are the questions getting a little too hot for you now?
No, I'm just
Well,
wondering.
then just answer them, and I'll answer yours. In fact, again, I'll make the same deal.
Why aren't we asking everybody else the same
We-
question?
no, who says
let
we
me
wouldn't?
answer that. Hold on, let me answer that. You're the only person who picked bear.
Okay.
Yes, obviously we're going to have the conversation with you.
Okay.
Nobody
but
else picked bear. That's why.
Picking bear does not have anything to do with the transgender
But
argument.
here, I'll explain it super easily. You're afraid of SA. Conservatives are scared of either themselves, if they're women, or their daughters, or their sisters, or whoever being SA'd in the bathroom.
That happens regardless. Men will sneak their way into the bathrooms and harm kids. So your issue is not with trans women. Your issue is with men, period.
Yeah, but
That's
their
it.
issue is with transgender women.
Yeah, because they're trying to target a specific group of people who they don't want to have rights.
But they don't. Hold on, no.
So-
Just stop. Hold on. Let me answer your thing. They don't want cis men in the women's bathroom either.
But it happens regardless. So what is barring trans women?
No. They're already against that. They're
So-
already against.
But
men
trans
in the
women
bathroom.
statistically don't commit the same amount of crimes that you are fearful of.
I don't know what the crime statistic.
And men don't statistically maul people very often either. But the thing is you'd still pick a bear. The question is not to ascertain whether or not you think the likelihood is the same. It has nothing to do with that. The question is just that within your purview, if it's enough for you to say I'd pick men based on my intuitive feelings, right? And this is why I would have some sort of guard against that. Why wouldn't it be totally fair for conservatives to have the same guard against it?
I'm sorry, are we allowing bears into women's restrooms now?
I'm sorry, I don't know what that has to do with the question.
I don't understand your question.
No.
It's just simply you pick bear over man because of hold on. Because of fear of SA. Conservatives don't want this group in the bathroom because of this fear. Simply put.
Okay, so my decision, because of my experience with SA, which has happened multiple times, my experience to me, personally picking a bear, which has nothing to do but affect me, is now justification for conservatives targeting a group of marginalized individuals.
Yeah, well, if it comes from the set of preference based on whatever you conceive personal trauma to be, in this case, SA. It doesn't have to be SA. It could be you snubbed your toe. It could be you punched yourself in the face. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter, right? The ideal objective here is the same. If there's some experience of trauma or you feel like it'll be traumatic, you would prefer X thing. If that is the case, why can't conservatives make the same preference?
They can voice the same preference, but at the same time, men will still go into women's bathrooms and assault people.
And bears will still maul people.
Barring transgender women from accessing the bathroom that they feel the most comfortable in is not going to stop anything.
Darkavia, you had something in the movie.
Just one last question. Okay, I'll just grant everything you just said as being true, even though I don't think it is. I'll just grant it all as being true.
Yes.
How in any way, shape, or form would that have anything to do with whether or not it's completely legitimate if you have these preferences based on trauma for conservatives to not have the same preferences based on what they conceive of as being trauma and then making legislation towards mitigating that trauma for other people, which is exactly what you're trying to do.
Have they themselves experienced trauma from a transgender woman?
Perhaps, or perhaps not.
Maybe.
Perhaps not. Do you think...
As a whole, again...
I don't understand. Do you think that a woman needs to experience being SA'd to not want to get SA'd?
No, but I think...
Of course not. So therefore, we can ascertain that you don't have to experience the trauma to still want to mitigate the trauma you would experience.
But to top that, would you change your mind if, let's say that a transgender woman now, after the transition, full transition, but made...
Sure.
was accused of sexually assaulting a woman when he was before the transition, would you change your opinion about when transgenders going into bathrooms if they were like they did a like, you know, like essay like on?
So if I understand you correctly, you're saying if one transgender woman before
I'm
they
saying
transitioned,
if any, like I'm saying if any hypothetical.
yeah, but if any one, if one of them.
No, I'm saying if
done it.
any, if before a man, and before they were transitioned, it was a man. And so what if they committed that essay on a woman before becoming a woman? Does that change your opinion?
I don't think that we have the right to make a law based off of the act of one person.
So they were committed of that crime as a man, but now as a woman.
I mean, why not?
Does that change your opinion?
Why couldn't you make a
No,
law based
because-
on one person?
Because why would you?
They're
Why
actually
would you?
full time based on
Why
one
would you
person.
attack a
Yeah.
marginalized
Megan's
group
law.
of people? Why would you say that they can't go into a woman's bathroom because of the sole choices?
Because
in
of the
Because it
perception of
happened
trauma.
once doesn't mean you're going to accept it to happen again.
it, like I said, it's going to happen regardless.
Yeah, I'm saying that, but
So
I'm saying
why
that
why
when you can make
would it
you
be
can
illegal to allow somebody to use
Yes.
the restroom?
Well, yes, but when you can you can actually say that it's fine because it has happened with trans woman that was once a man and did that act, that crime, and now you're just going to say it's okay because only one person did it. Only one now is a woman but was a man when they committed the crime.
Why does the trans make it different?
Because of the perception of trauma. Why does a bear make it different?
Yeah, like
Can
just
I-
because he's a
No,
woman
what-
now, it disqualifies the crime that he did when he was a man.
No, what I'm
Okay.
saying
Brian,
is,
can I add
Go
something?
off, Queen. That was for Darkavia.
yeah.
No, because
we
I
know.
was literally about to move it on. Sorry.